Hey humans, it's Hannah. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, I do videos on creepy and disturbing things. So this topic was actually first recommended to me by a subscriber who emailed me. So thank you so much, Francis, for the suggestion. I pitched it to my Patreons who voted on it as their April Patreon poll pick. So here we are. We are about to deep dive into a TikTok account that is just riddled with controversy right now. No, this is not an ARG. This is not fictional. This is a TikTok account where one way or another, something weird is going on. So the account is called Bebop and Bebe. They are a mother-daughter duo who post primarily lip-syncing content, cosplaying, and a lot of dances and little skits together. Except they are both just wearing very heavy amounts of makeup in almost every video. The daughter is only 8 years old, by the way, and they're always wearing very elaborate outfits or costumes. It is known that they are in the pageant scene and have been in the pageant scene for a long time. So this may actually not seem that weird on the surface, but people have grown very concerned over the past few months given the odd, forced nature of the mother-daughter pair. The daughter always looks like she's forcing this smile, and people started to find it, of course, pretty strange that only an 8-year-old girl was wearing such excessive makeup outside of the actual pageants. And so the rumors started. Let's talk about this account and see if we can't decide what may be truly going on here. Okay, so a couple things. First of all, I am not going to just trash the mom in this video. I 100% believe that regardless of what is truly going on, this 8-year-old girl is definitely being exploited and it's not okay. But if there's even the tiniest chance that the conspiracy theories are right, which of course I'm really hoping they're not, then in that case, there's also a minuscule chance that the mom is also a victim in this and being forced to do these things. And she's not willingly exploiting her daughter. I don't want to outright blame her for something unless there's actual solid proof that it is her directly. So I just want to get that out there. I think the main victim in this is definitely the little girl, but I'm not here to just assume that this mom is terrible. Second, something really interesting just happened on 4/21, which is when I was writing this script, which was like yesterday. Bebop and Bebe's account actually got banned on TikTok. They got banned for quote unquote violating multiple community guidelines. So sadly, we'll be missing some of her original content. However, she's still very active. They still have a YouTube and Instagram, a Likey, which is apparently another TikTok app that nobody's ever heard of. And they also very quickly made a new account under a very similar username. I wasn't even sure if I was gonna make this video for sure. I went to my Discord, my Patreon Discord, and I told them what was going on, that this account got deleted and that I was worried about making a video on it. Everybody was very validating and very nice, so I ended up going for it anyway, even though I won't have quite as much material. And just one more thing before we dive in. Again, I'm really sorry for the long ass disclaimer, but everything that we're about to talk about is technically alleged. There's no solid proof. They're not being arrested or convicted of any sort of crime, just for legal reasons to protect myself. This is technically all speculation. Okay, so let's deep dive the account itself. A lot of people are concerned about the fact that this little girl is apparently named Bebop. That in itself is concerning. However, based on a lot of people commenting on either Reddit or different comments everywhere, that's not her real name. That's her stage name, and Bebe is mom's stage name / nickname. That's neither of their real names. She did not name her child Bebop. So overall impression of this account, at first glance, it does actually just look kind of like innocent cosplaying. But whether you're suspicious of the conspiracy theory around this account or not, whether you believe any of that, I mean, there is pretty blatant exploitation going on. Even if this little girl has been doing pageants for years, even if this little girl claims that being a star or being famous is what she wants, she's only 8 and she cannot possibly grasp the gravity of putting herself like this up on the internet for forever. permanently. There is a way to go about this. I'm not saying that all pageantry is bad or that even kids doing pageantry is necessarily bad in all circumstances, but I am saying that there's a way to do it that's not harmful, and this is not it. So then people starting rumors about how something just seems off. The way they act in the videos, it looks like Bebop kind of has this forced smile a lot of the time. They're never lip syncing that well to the song, which I personally think is just more of a consequence of putting out so much content so frequently. They probably just don't have a lot of time to get it perfect. And she's also a little kid, so of course she's not going to be able to lip sync perfectly. But just that kind of stuff, like people just started getting a weird vibe. They're just very robotic. They just kind of stare, like their smile doesn't reach their eyes, like that kind of thing. I think that's kind of what started the interest in this account. One of the creepiest things though probably is the way that Bebop is always dressed. She's always in very excessive makeup, like fake eyelashes, all dolled up, like tons of makeup. Which, like, okay, I know some people don't see an issue with this and others totally do. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with a child dressing up for fun, including wearing makeup. But this particular type of makeup she's wearing in every single video doesn't really seem like dress up makeup, like make-believe, just for fun costume makeup. It's creepy to me because it seems to intentionally and deliberately be aimed at trying to make her look older. And then her outfits, I mean, the outfits that she's always wearing. A lot of her costumes are just the complete getup, and then there's this one video where she's in like a weirdly, like weird, I can't say the word on YouTube, especially because it's regarding a child and that would creep myself out. But the costume is of a cop costume, and it's like a skirt with like a choker. And the choker, a lot of people talk about the choker on this costume just because it seems weirdly, I'm gonna have to bleep this out, but it just seems weirdly sexual. I don't even have as much of a problem with that one as I do with the one where she's like dressed up kind of like an animal or a cat or something, and she's on a literal leash. She has a collar and a leash on, and the mom is like walking her in the video, and it's along to this very like more adult themed song. Now this is where we're gonna get in some very difficult territory. On the one hand, I actually think it's weird that our society, people watching these videos are the ones that are turning it into a sexual thing. It's like when people get mad at parents for letting their literal toddlers on the beach naked, like just so they can play without a diaper and have fun, and random strangers will think that's so creepy and disgusting. Same for like breastfeeding. It's not an inherently sexual thing, but you're the one that's making it a sexual thing. Like, it's a literal baby. If your mind goes there, then that's your fault and your problem and something wrong with you, not with the parent or the baby. And I think that sort of applies here. The reason that it creeps me out is, like I just touched on, the way Bebop's makeup and outfits look as if they are intentionally trying to make her look like a teenager or an adult. She's also acting a lot older in these videos as well. Like, some of the dancing that she does should make, you know, people question, and some of the things that she does are more things you see adults do in TikToks, or at least much more mature teenagers. So what I'm saying is that whoever's dressing her up like this, they are intentionally making her look a certain way. And it's not like they're dressing her up in these really cute costumes and then sending her to a costume party or an anime convention where they might take a couple pictures with some passerbys and there's context around it. They're doing it specifically to get views on the internet. In the right context, this would make total sense, but in the TikTok context where she's put on the internet for millions of people to see an 8-year-old dressed like this, like, does that make sense? It's not her fault at all. It's not the child's fault at all. And kids should be able to wear whatever they want without being like sexualized for it, and be like blamed for, you know, obviously no victim blaming. I more blame the people dressing her up like that and in these getups has to know that not everybody on the internet has good intentions. There are a few bad seeds out there that are looking for this type of content. And I think that's what it really has people worried about this, is not that there's anything wrong with a little kid dressing up, but the fact that it's being put in this context on purpose when there's people out there that will put her in danger. So anyway, that's kind of the account. Like, that's just the account. That is why everybody thinks it's creepy. That's why everybody is just getting a bad vibe from it, and why, regardless of what's going on behind the scenes, this child is being exploited. Now, let's talk about the actual conspiracy and how, because of all this creepy stuff, people started looking for other clues that maybe suggest that both the mom and Bebop are in danger, and they're both being held captive or something by somebody abusive behind the scenes, and that they have no choice but to dress up and put this content out there because they're being forced. So let's start with the comments. There is video after video after video out there of people requesting that they wear a certain color in the comments, and sure enough, in the next video, the mom and daughter are doing it. Now, some people could say this is a coincidence because eventually, with thousands of people commenting, all the colors are going to be suggested, but I would argue against that. There's no way that this is a coincidence, because it's like almost every video, like tons of video. Back when I was looking at this account when it still existed, it was like almost every video they did the action or wore the color or did the thing in the next video after it was like the top comment in the last video. So another good example of this particular account screen recorded part of the mom while she was on live, and the person recording was typing, "Say thanks for the like if you need help." And right after she sent it, like a second after she saw it, she said, "Thanks for the likes."
And there's one. Thank you for the likes.
There was another person that recorded the live where somebody told the mom to move her headband if she was in trouble, and sure enough, she did it right after they sent that. So my conclusion about this kind of thing, I mean, there's like hundreds of examples of this, but my particular opinion on this is, yeah, it's creepy. And there are some cases where this actually ended up being a real thing. Remember, Britney Spears was doing this on her social media. She was like wearing yellow or doing the flowers or doing like the emojis. I talked about this in a whole other video, but she was doing that, and we were all like, is this a conspiracy or is she actually reaching out for help? And it turned out that she was actually asking for help. She sent that message on Instagram about how she's totally fine, she's happier than she's ever been, and it turned out that that was all a lie, and somebody was forcing her to say that. So in some cases, it does turn out that the audience is right, and that they are trying to help, and that the conspiracy is right, and that in this particular case, Britney Spears was actually reaching out to help, and it actually worked in her favor because so many millions of people were so outraged that I think it helped her win her case. I just mean, we shouldn't necessarily ignore this stuff. However, in this case, I'm not super convinced. First of all, unlike the live streams and stuff, I mean, there's dozens of comments coming in every minute of people saying to do certain things, and it seems like they're just kind of doing the ones that they happen to see. And then because it's so blatant and deliberate, it does feel, kind of gives me the vibe that they're doing it because it creates a lot of engagement. It creates views, it creates likes, it creates lots of comments. All right, the set rumors. The bedroom, the purple girly little room that they're always filming in, is a set. It's not her real room. This has been concerning for a lot of people, and it confirms for a lot of people that they are in fact being forced to do these things. If you look carefully, people talk a lot about how the room is purple, but then it just cuts off into black. If you look at the other side of the room very carefully, there's huge speakers in the corner, like tons of clues like that. People see cords everywhere, people find other, like, it just goes on and on and on. I'm showing some examples right now. Apparently on a live previously, mom said that it was a set. They're not keeping that part a secret. They have said that they made a specific set so that they could film, have a really girly set to film pageant auditions and this stuff for her to further the little girl's like career, and you know, she's aspiring to be like a model and everything. They have never denied that this is not her real room. Another person made a TikTok speculating that the reflection in the door that they could see and the background on the video, you could see a reflection of a camera in a man's face, which I guess to me, even if that is true, I cannot tell what's in that reflection. I don't think it personally looks like a man, but even if it is, that does not seem like a huge deal to me. A lot of people have others help them film, especially when you have millions of followers. You can usually afford to get help, or it could be another family member helping them film these. I really don't think that that's a sign that they're being held against their will. So this set thing is, if anything, less proof for me, since they're clearly not hiding it. The mom is clearly never denied that this was a thing. I think a lot of people have speakers in their house. A lot of people have lots of cords. I think that's like, whether this is conspiracy is true or not, I think that's a huge leap. Okay, and now part of this story that pretty much pisses me off is a missing girl and her mom. A real missing girl and her mom. There's been this huge conspiracy theory on multiple platforms of people perpetuating this for views, in spite of the fact that they have no evidence to back it up, that Bebop is a real missing person's child, and people believe that it's the real missing child, Aranza Maria Lopez. She went missing when she was 4, and according to many, they think that Bebop and her look very similar when Bebop's not wearing makeup. And that's why Bebop is forced to wear so much makeup, because they're afraid of people actually recognizing her. This one's ridiculous, and like I said, it pisses me off. First of all, the two girls look absolutely, positively nothing alike. Not more alike than any two girls that age that have a similar skin tone could look like. And if you just do a quick Google search, Aranza's mother was arrested for this crime. She is the one that, according to the story, had actually kidnapped her daughter and fled to Mexico. She got 20 months in jail time for it. She kidnapped Aranza during a CPS visit because CPS was allowing her to visit her daughter. They were in a mall. She asked the CPS person if they could go to the bathroom, and when they did, she took Aranza and fled. We don't know what happened to Aranza. She is still missing, and I have serious concerns that the mom knows a lot more than what she's letting on, but that's a whole different case, and that's all alleged. But regardless, I highly doubt that these cases have anything to do with each other. The only benefit of this is that it does get Aranza's name out there more, and a lot more people talking about her as a missing child. But other than that, I hate it when people do this. Anytime there is any conspiracy on TikTok or any social media platform, people are so quick to be like, oh, it's this missing person, they kind of look like them, and they don't. People often, even after the family comes forward and says, that is not our loved one, people will still insist. Yes, I do think that these kind of things need to be looked into, but tell the authorities. Don't spread it around TikTok for views. It can be extremely hurtful to families when their loved one is being used in this way on the internet, especially after they've confirmed that it's not them. Anyway, okay, the doxing. I guess the word doxing may be a little dramatic. I'm not sure what is required for it to be considered doxing. Like, does their actual address and personal information have to be let out? In my personal opinion, people have hunted down the last name of Bebop's family, as well as mom's real name and who they believe dad is. And I personally, if they're not sharing that willingly and they have used stage names to hide that, I personally consider that as a form of doxing. So like I said, people have claimed to have found the real Bebe and her real name. People have found the dad on Facebook. I'm not going to share screenshots of these or share these videos because, like I said, in case we're all wrong and this conspiracy is completely untrue, I don't want to share personal information that the family clearly has not shared themselves. And if the conspiracies are right and we are all right and it's worst case scenario, then the mom is being forced to do these things too. And in that case, it would still not be right to share her name in case that would put her in danger from her captors. Okay, so now there's just this weird part to this whole story. It is alleged that Bebop had a brother, a stepbrother, who used to appear in her videos. And then it was weird. It was like, according to people, like somebody in the family banned the brother for being in the videos. A lot of people, again, say that this is a real missing person that went missing in 2018. And therefore that just further proves that something weird is going on with this family. Like one of their other family members went missing and they don't seem too concerned about it. I don't want to say what this alleged stepbrother's name is or what people believe it is, because that would say what the whole family's last name is. And I already said I don't want to spread that around. But I couldn't dig up any real proof that this was actually the brother, and just no like solid evidence. However, I do think this may be true just by how often I see it repeated and the same story repeated from a lot of people, as well as the last name also matching what the real names of the parents are. So I'll be really honest, I don't actually have a lot of information about this particular part. I just wanted to bring it up because I do see it a lot as part of this story and something weird that goes along with this family if it is true. Finally, I've also come across this TikTok.
Today I want to talk about this girl and the fact that she's being exploited but not abused. So Bebop and BB are two mostly normal individuals who aren't in danger despite what you might believe. If you look online, you can find pretty easily that their double act is owned by Best Bee's agency, and the agency is not abusive. They received glowing reviews from the mom, BB, and frankly, small agencies don't have the power to hold someone captive and abuse them like some seem to think. But they're behaving weirdly because the allegations of them being abused and the mystery behind that has generated a lot of views and traffic to their channel, and thus it's making them money. And it's pretty disgusting, but they're playing into it in order to get money, basically. The child, though, is a former pageant kid and has been in the entertainment industry with her mom for years. And so even though she's not necessarily being like abused to her and the mom, the kid is still being exploited very much, and this is unfortunately legal because of like child actors all over the world, you know.
I did look this agency up for myself, and this does seem to be true. The agency helps people, helps talent boost their social media and, you know, pursue dreams of becoming more famous online or modeling, etc. This person who made the TikTok is claiming that there's very little chance that this duo is being actually held captive because this is the agency they work for, and the agency would not be able to do that to them. The person who posted this video then very quickly pinned a comment that said that the Bebop and Bebe account, the original one before it got banned, blocked them right after they posted this TikTok, which tells us that they probably don't want people to know about the agency they're a part of. And therefore, they wouldn't have blocked them if they were wrong. This, I do believe, I don't know if it's direct, solid evidence that something horrible is not going on in their personal home. However, I do think it's a good indication that they're probably just doing this for views, and they know that adding the conspiracy to it gets them a lot more attention. However, like I said at the beginning, no matter what, something is not right about this account. Option 1. The two have been kidnapped and are being held hostage. The help signals, the wearing things in the video that indicate they need help based on the comment requests. This would also mean that the mother is not in fact exploiting her daughter, but is rather a victim herself. I didn't mention this earlier, but then there was this other video where somebody had claimed to see the two in real life, and dad seemed like he was really controlling and being extremely abusive. So this is awful, and I do actually legitimately hope we're all wrong. Option 2 is that nothing inherently dangerous is going on. The mom is using the kidnapping rumors and going along with it because it generates views, subscribers, comments, likes, etc. They're just so deep in the pageant world that she doesn't really see anything wrong with what she's doing, and that's it. In this case, I mean, it's still not really a happy ending because this child is still being exploited. She is just way too young to consent or to understand what she's doing. This is proven by the person that found the agency that they work for, which gives a pretty good indication that they are probably just doing this for more attention. It's also just very unlikely that they're being held captive and that their alleged captors would let them read all their TikTok comments. I highly doubt that these captors, if they existed, would let them just do lives on their own, do lives where they have the ability to read the chat and that nobody's supervising the chat or nobody's paying attention to the fact that they're doing things people are asking them to do in the chat as a cry for help. The captors would be very closely monitoring the content, the comments, and they would be reading these hundreds and hundreds of comments every video, asking them if they've been kidnapped, asking if they're in danger, and all that. And then the captors would see this, they would work really hard to disprove it and prove that they were fine. They certainly wouldn't let the girls be wearing colors that people told them to wear in the comments. And the thing with the colors is that even if, let's say the daughter and the mom never wore the colors that people asked them to wear, like they blatantly did not follow what people asked them to do in the chat, on the lives, asked them to do any of that, people would still think they're in trouble because they'd be like, well, if somebody's watching them, somebody's forcing them to play it cool and pretend like they're not being held captive. So like, no matter what they did, people would think that they were being held captive and would create these conspiracy theories. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that they're doing it so much is probably proof that they're fine. So my personal final conclusion on this, I personally think that this mom is trolling us all. I think that this is simply a mom who is living vicariously through her daughter. And while I believe that she does genuinely love her daughter, she is exploiting her, and it's very sad for Bebop. After they got their new account, the new account has been commenting on other videos about them. I found this comment that was way more than I've ever seen them actually say in a comment. And they said, "We just post cosplays. I don't exactly know what people's problems are. Just stop, please. We don't deserve this hate." Which I think, I mean, to be fair to most of us, I think, yes, there are some people perpetuating and reaching a lot for ridiculous conspiracy theories, but in the end, the vast majority of us are just genuinely concerned about this little girl and want to make sure that she's safe and don't agree with what mom is doing. I mean, I don't think that that's a fair comment for her to make because yes, you are doing cosplays, but you are blatantly doing it in a way that attracts a certain audience. Like, it just does not seem very fair to tell us that. The vast majority of us honestly are concerned about the little girl, no matter what's going on here. All right, friends, that's gonna be it for me today. Before I roll into the credits, I just want to give a shameless plug to the Patreon. I have, if you watch this far, you may be interested in joining. I'm on the Discord pretty much every day chatting with everybody. I also just added a new perk for the lowest level tiers, which means every tier gets this, but a couple videos a month. I am now going to post the day before or as early as I possibly can on YouTube unlisted for Patreons. So Patreons get to watch the video ad free. They get to watch it first. So other than that, I mean, we also have monthly Netflix parties, polls, and that's literally just the smallest tier. There's a lot more benefits on the upper tier. So if you're interested in throwing in a few dollars a month to join a more tight-knit community from my channel, then check out there. The link will be in the description below. So that being said, thank you so much to my top tier patrons: Colin Holmes, Deck of Cards, Michelle Valdovinos, Tom L, JJ, Dirty Kitty, Quasi Eli, Little Kittle Cat, Whimsicott Fan, Delta Wolf 776, Mitchell Meyer, Mike, Alice Paul, and Dark Sided Otter. But of course, thank you to all of my lovely patrons. I will see you guys in the next video.